What's up, mixed reaction community? My name is Ian. I'm with Casey, and welcome back to Justin. We're gonna go ahead and start with Justin. How you doing today, big dog?
Oh, it's a great weekend for the Patriots fan. That's for darn sure.
Indeed, it is. And you know what?
And I'm not sleeping on the couch because I was wrong with my Commander Steelers pick.
Oh, you
Uh,
caught that? Hey, somebody listens. I don't even listen to this shit half the time. How you doing today, Casey?
I'm doing great.
All right. Well, what do you say we jump in and talk about? You know what? We'll actually lead off on a positive note because me and Casey, I think, both have something to say about our teams. Patriots
Right?
obviously picking a dub against, picking up a dub against the Bears, winning most of the, if not all, the game, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they were tied, I think, a couple times at the beginning. But Justin, how did you feel about just overall, just your feelings and thoughts on the game this weekend?
It felt like the team came together. It felt like the Cincinnati game, but I mean, granted, Drake did throw a pick, which was a horrible throw. I don't know how he made that throw, but it was relatively clean. The defense just stood up, and I'm not entirely sure if it's a onus of good things to come, or if it's just that the Bears are that bad. I think it's probably a combination of the two. But I think it's safe to say that if you were to redraft this year's draft, you can definitely say that Caleb would not be the number one overall pick based on how he's been playing.
Yeah, at this rate, you probably think it would go Jaden, Bo, Drake, then Caleb.
Yeah, and I don't think it's even close. Caleb is definitely not even a top three rookie quarterback from his class at this point.
Not saying
Now,
he won't
talent
get
wise,
there, but
right, but in terms of performance this year, he's got the raw talent to be that. Don't get me wrong, but based on his performance and his body language, which is poor at best, you got to question what's going on. And one thing it goes without saying is the Bears have punted on their coach, absolutely punted. They just fired their OC this afternoon too.
Oh, did they
that
really? I
may
didn't
make a
catch
big
that.
difference.
It might, but still, I mean, 9 sacks, 9 sacks. The Patriots got on Caleb Williams, and I'm not sure if you guys watched the game, but Caleb was just holding the ball and holding the ball and holding the ball. And when the pocket collapsed, he wasn't really scrambling out of it. He was like in panic mode.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I've noticed that for sure.
but all in all, it was a good day. I thought it was funny because I listened to the show from last week, and you guys were saying that the Bears pick was a lock. It's like, yeah, how you feeling about that now, guys?
Yeah, I
But
was. I mean, if you're a Patriots fan, yeah, I guess you got to be pleasantly surprised what you've seen through Drake May and almost, I don't want to say resurgence of a Patriots offense, but at least showings of a Patriot offense, to say the least. I'm not sitting here and saying that they have comparable or capable wide receivers now at this point, because I still don't believe that they do.
no, they
But
don't.
Drake May has shown the ability to be able to perform with subpar talent, which is always a good sign for when they do eventually get that talent into his locker room, what type of quarterback he can be.
And he's also showing that leadership mentality. I mean, even you go into it. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but his post game press conference, the first thing he said was, "Let's give a shout out to the defense because they're the ones who won the game." He wasn't talking about his own performance. The
I mean,
first thing
he's
he
not
said was,
wrong. It's not like the offense lit it up.
"No," but my point being that he is showing that leadership mentality that you look
Yeah.
for in your starting quarterback, as
Same
opposed
thing with
to
Bo
I'm a
Nix.
rookie, right? But he's showing that he's willing and ready to take that mantle that many rookie quarterbacks are not really ready for.
Now he's
Um,
got another test ahead of him, and that's stringing together two good games in a row.
that's the next step. Absolutely. You got your
It-
good win, you got your good bounce back, but now you got to string it.
And this is the Rams are a step above in competition than the Bears.
Definitely.
The
Definitely.
Rams aren't good, but they're definitely a step above in competition when it comes to the Bears.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Um,
So I think that's going to be a big step for them. You know,
And
I'm leaning one way on that game. I don't know for sure yet, but I'm definitely leaning one way just based on how the weeks went. But this could definitely be, it could be a turning point for New England. Definitely not going to be a playoff team, you know, anywhere near
No.
close to it this season. But
no,
it could
right.
be a turning point into getting that momentum built for next season.
And it's one thing to. I mean, I was watching some of the talk shows, local Boston talk shows earlier today, and it's one thing if you feel like okay, now you got your quarterback, but you still suck, and you're still a number one overall pick. That's not really great. But if you found your quarterback, which they have, and you're like the 7th or 10th pick, okay, yeah, your team still sucks, but you got at least you got the pieces, and you don't suck wind just for the sake of sucking wind. So
no, but what's wrong with having, you know, if you have your quarterback and then have a number one pick, that's a great opportunity for you guys to go
it's an
get
opportunity,
Ashton Genty or Travis
Yes.
Hunter.
But you also put yourself out, but also having that, you don't have to put that pressure on that being the net you have to hit if you have a top one, the number one overall pick, because you're expected to hit with that. Chicago's got to be kicking themselves some fierce right now, based off of recent performances, because they gave up everything, and I mean everything. And yeah, DJ Moore doesn't want to play for them anymore. It's clear.
He's done.
He's done. I mean, Cole Kmet, who is honestly best
very serviceable tight end. Very serviceable
tight end. It reminds me of, granted, I've got the visual bias, but I've seen Hunter Henry, for example. Nothing flashy, but just consistent. Just solid, consistent, good blocker, good hands. He had his first target in 3 weeks in the game today, on Sunday. First target in 3 weeks.
Which is very surprising.
Yeah.
One thing that I think needs to be, you know, really applauded about Drake May is the fact that him and Bo Nix, I'd say, are doing more with less as compared to a Jaden Daniels. You know, if you look at the talent that Washington has and compare it to the talent that New England has,
or Denver,
very big discrepancy. Or Denver, it's a very big discrepancy. Him and Bo have been able to, I don't want to say, you know, put up godly numbers by any stretch, but have put up good numbers for a rookie while being able to maintain a consistent level of
production.
Dare I say professionalism, game management, and just truly what you like to see from a rookie, and that's development throughout the course of each week.
You know, there was something we were saying earlier in the season about the Patriots with Jacoby Brissett specifically, is you're not going to lose a game because of him. At this point, now you have to say maybe you won't lose a game because of Drake or because of Bo. I mean, granted, last week
that's so tough to say because they're still so young.
Tough to say, but you're getting, but what they're showing recently is leading in that direction.
Of course, absolutely, that's fair, and you know that's not a bad point coming from what he's been doing, but coming from a rookie, I also wouldn't be too shocked if he comes out and throws 3 picks against the Rams. Like,
right, I mean, you're going to have those dud games, obviously.
Of course, yes.
It's just the nature of the beast.
Yes. Now, Ian also mentioned the fact that, you know, start off with this positive note because, you know, him and I probably have something to say about our teams. And I don't. I got nothing to say about Dallas. I've said the same exact things fucking 5 shows in a row. You know, there's absolutely nothing more that can be said. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. Okay, and just for anyone here who was thinking, oh, Cooper Rush, you know, he might elevate that offense beyond Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush didn't even have 50 yards passing in the entire game. So we could stop that noise right now. The issues that Dallas has aren't necessarily pertaining to Dak, and that was extremely evident on Sunday. Now, with that being said, here's what I think Dallas should do. Tank, lose every game the rest of the season, just get it over with, lose every one of them, get the number 1 overall pick. Mike McCarthy's gone. Draft Shedeur Sanders, number 1 overall, which will encourage Deion Sanders to become the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Trade Dak Prescott to the New Orleans Saints, who will be picking around 4th, 5th, or 6th. And with that 4th, 5th, or 6th pick, draft Ashton Genty. That would be my ideal scenario.
That's a pipe dream scenario, man. But it's a great scenario.
It absolutely is a pipe dream. And this is the weird thing, and it's what I was talking about with Ian either last week or the week before. It's such an odd position for me to be in as a Dallas fan that they're just not a good team. Like, I'm used to them being a very good regular season team, winning 12 games, possibly winning a wild card round, and being extremely competitive throughout the whole season. I'm not used to them being a bad team.
They're bad.
You guys know the last time Dallas lost 4 games in a row?
They lost 4 in a row.
You know how long it's been since they've lost 4 in a row?
I'll just say, tell me higher or lower. 5 years?
Higher.
Holy shit. 6.
Higher.
8.
Higher.
Are you serious?
Since 2015.
Nah, I was almost. God damn. That was right before Zeke and that was the year right before Zeke and Dak got right before they had that when they were the number 1 seed, right? The year before.
Well, they weren't the number 1 seed the year before, but it was the year that Tony Romo went down, and they had Brandon Whedon and Matt Castle and Kellen Moore as their quarterbacks.
They suck, bro. I mean, like you said, it's I mean, they're just bad in general all around. I know we joke with. I know Sean is always excited to see Cooper Rush play, and you're like, but it's not. They're just bad. I was gonna bring that up, and I'm not surprised you brought it up before I did about Deion coming there. I personally, I don't know if I mean, right now most mock drafts will have Shedeur ahead of Cam Ward. Prototypical Shedeur, I guess, fits the bill. He's looked good. He's really looked good as the season's gone along. I mean, Colorado's rolling. He's completing most of his passes. Earlier this year, there were a couple games where he was just missing open guys, but I'm still torn on whether it's going to be him or Cam Ward. But maybe it will entice Deion to coach the Cowboys. I mean, I thought that was a good idea when I heard about it earlier. I mean, I think Deion's more of a.
I don't think you need Shedeur to get him for the Cowboys, honestly.
I think we do.
I mean, it would definitely help. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think Dallas has enough. I mean, is Dallas in a position where they could tank and get the number overall? Because I'm not sure where are they overall in the.
So they're 3-6 now. I think 3-6.
I'm checking that right now, actually.
You know, they've lost more games this year than they did the year before, or the year before. They finished 12-5 the last 3 years in a row, and they've already lost more games than that. So, with that being said, they're in a position where they could finish 3-14. In that comes another loss to the Giants, who would put them in. Dak Prescott, he's got season-ending surgery. He's getting it tomorrow.
Oh, I wasn't sure if he was. I knew he was on IR, but I wasn't sure if it was season-ending IR. Okay.
And so, with that being said, I want them, and of course, this all falls, falls in the line of someone willing to absorb Dak's contract in a trade, and that someone would have to be like the New Orleans Saints, Las Vegas Raiders, something. You know, maybe Carolina, but I could potentially see Carolina doing it.
Giants? Because
no.
I'm just saying, they're obviously moving on from Daniel Jones.
That's true. They are moving on from Daniel Jones, so I suppose that's a pipe dream too, just getting another team to be able to absorb Dak's contract, because we absolutely are going to need a running back to pair with Shedeur Sanders if that is the case. It's definitely not going to be Rico Dowell or Deuce Vaughn or Ezekiel Elliott.
I think
none of those guys are even going to be on NFL roster.
Genty than Shedeur, honestly. I think that's more realistic to expect.
So that's my realistic dream for Dallas. I want them, for one, I also don't start Cooper Monday night against the Texans. Start Trey Lance.
At
least see what he can do with the starting offense on this team. At least give him a chance. It will be a disaster, but it's going to be a disaster with Cooper Rush anyways.
You realize that I'm just looking at the overall standings. The distance between number one overall pick and the 10th or 11th, actually, like 1, 2, 3, the 11th overall pick is a game and a half.
Which is why, because Jerry, here's what puts Dallas in a horrible, horrible position right now, right? Coach McCarthy is in his lame duck year, meaning he does not have a contract going into next season. So he's not going to tank.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to
wants the job.
Exactly. He knows he's not going to be in Dallas next year, but he also can't put on film him just coaching in the shitter and tanking. So he's going to put the best players on the field in a position to win. I don't see the players tanking. Like that's just not something that I can see happening.
Right.
So it comes down to maybe actually fuck it. Keep Cooper. Let Cooper start every game. Let Micah tweak another ankle. Let Trayvon Diggs pull a hamstring.
Another team I'm just thinking that might be in the market for Dak from next year, maybe the Jets.
If Aaron has another year on his contract, no. But I don't know Aaron's contract situation with the Jets.
Aaron doesn't look like he wants to play anymore.
I think that's very incorporated with just this season.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Just because of the Jets season just is in turmoil. Everything that could have possibly have gone wrong for them has. Mm-hmm. I think we could see a re-energized Aaron Rodgers next year. But
I'll have to go right.
But, I'm just hoping that something happens. It sucks because the only game that I officially would really want Dallas to win for the rest of the season, it's just the Thanksgiving Day game, just so it doesn't ruin my day. But other than that, they play the Giants.
It's a winnable game, I suppose, but yeah.
I mean, it's just such a weird feeling. I've never seen. This is the worst Dallas team I think I've ever seen.
Probably the worst Thanksgiving game of the week of that slate.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Detroit's gonna put on a show, obviously. Dallas.
Yeah, they're gonna beat the brakes off Chicago.
How many sacks do you think in that game that Chicago's gonna give up?
Oh, against the Lions?
Yeah.
10?
I might say 12, maybe more. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't bench Caleb in the game against the Patriots. He was just that bad.
Ian.
But yeah.
How in the fuck do you guys lose to the Dolphins on Monday Night Football?
I picked that one. I win.
When I went back and listened to the show, because everything all day, I was telling my friend, we're going to get fucking cooked by the Dolphins. And I went back to the show, like, I picked the Dolphins, right? And I was like, we didn't even really touch on that game. We were just like, oh, you got the Rams, right? Yeah, I do. The fuck was I thinking? I mean, it just coming out of the gate looking. I mean, they scored what, 2.5 minutes in? Like, it was just, I don't know, man. The reason I was giving my friend is because our defense is so inexperienced. Jared Verse, I'm really happy for him. You realize that was our first round pick in 7 years?
Yeah, he's showing flashes. I will give you that.
Yeah, no, he's a problem. Look, I'm not too worried about it. I'm not gonna count the Patriots out, especially with how good they look this weekend. I'm optimistic of the fact that we do have the Patriots coming up, even though, so I spoil I'm taking the Rams this weekend. No reason to beat around the bush. But I don't know, man. I wasn't too, I guess, disappointed. I mean, we only lost the game by 8 points. You know what I mean? It's just, it happens. We had some opportunities, but we just couldn't, shit. I mean, they come out the first drive and I think we got them to a third. I think it was like 3rd and 14. We got a couple of tackles for loss, or a tackle for a loss, and then all of a sudden, Jalen Waddle gets just completely open, and then Washington scores a touchdown, and from there, it felt like we were never in any type of control in that game. I never thought for 1 second last night that we were actually going to win the game, but it's all good. I'm not too worried. I mean, I think considering I don't think we're in too bad of a spot, especially you go back looking at the standings right now. I mean, Arizona, don't get me wrong, they fucking rolled yesterday. They're looking like a problem. San Francisco, they're finding, I don't even know
Just
if I'd say finding their stride. They hung on, but I mean, we're not out of the woods yet. Or I think I use that saying correctly.
Christian
We're not
McCaffrey
in the
had a
woods
good
yet.
comeback game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Uh, Speaking of the Dolphins game, the Rams Dolphins game, can someone tell Tua Tagovailoa to not lead with his head? For the love of God, that pick he threw, and he took a knee to the head, covering that
What,
interception
Noteboom?
return.
Was it Noteboom that got that pick at the end?
Something like
I
that. I think so.
think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I saw you the clip that you had shared. When I was watching the game, I didn't even. I was so mad that we had thrown an interception until I saw the clip this morning. I was like, oh damn, he's just trying to die out there. But yeah,
Right?
man, that's the story for a different day. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it. We have the Patriots coming up. Speaking of the Patriots, and because I mean, I don't know, man, I haven't really had much to say about my team this year, just because I think we're kind of. I mean, we're steadying out. I mean, we're 4-5 right now. I'm not too
You're in the thick of
concerned
it
about it.
still. You're
I
still in the
say
thick of it.
what's weird about the Rams, Ian, is they're what you'd classify as like a middle of the pack team.
Yeah,
Like
oh,
they're
exactly.
they're nothing to write home about, but they're not like a special team either.
Yeah,
Right.
no, like you don't see the Rams on the schedule, and you know you're gonna have to come and play against the Rams, but nobody's taking us seriously as a Super Bowl contender. I'm just hoping that we
Right.
can show some potential. Um, Corum,
Yeah,
I'm hoping we can just keep
make a
him.
dark horse run. Sure.
Yeah, I just hope that we keep Corum involved. So hope it gets them. You know, our defense. I mean, we just lost the best defensive player of his generation, maybe top 3 all time. You know what I mean? So I don't. It's sucks to have, yeah, because we gave away our entire future. So any not even say not any progress. Anytime we don't show regression, that's always a plus for me. And before we get on to the picks, because I know that's the big segment. We were talking about sacks and a lot about what the Patriots need to do. I know me and Justin were talking about it a little in the group chat. Coming into the week, they were what, 22nd, 23rd. Offensive line only allowed 1 sack this weekend. I've been watching quite a bit of Alabama football with my dad recently. Either Will Campbell, he plays for LSU, or Booker. Trevor Booker, or is it Trevor? Sorry, not Trevor Booker. Booker from Alabama. Dude's a fucking stud. I think if they could just beef up the line. I mean, they already look good this weekend. I mean, compared complete day and night from Chicago's offensive line. But I don't think there'd be anything wrong with adding some protection around Drake May if they could trade up. If they get the number 1 pick. It's hard for me to not see them picking Hunter, but at this point, I don't even know if they're going to get the number 1 pick. Like, there's teams that look
No,
way worse than the
they're probably like the
Patriots.
7 to 10 right now because again they're winning, but it's just, they want, but they're again there's so many teams that are technically right now ahead of them in the draft order that it's going to come down to tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Because right now they're the number 10 overall pick, and or 10 or 7 because Dallas is 10, so they're the number 8 right now. I take it back, but you've got the Saints, the Panthers, the Browns, the Titans, the Raiders, the Giants, the Jaguars. They're all still ahead of them. Granted, a couple of them have tiebreaker wins over the Patriots head to head. So, I mean, a lot will have to go right for them to get the number 1 overall. The Patriots will. Realistically, I see them still having a top 5 overall pick, but we'll see how it pans out.
Also, before we get to the picks, Atlanta, I fucking told you, Casey. I should have listened to myself. I knew that fucking New Orleans was going to be a problem, dude. The Falcons look so goddamn bad Sunday, man. They looked like dog shit. It's just, I mean,
Yeah,
look,
I
I mean,
can't
New
even tell
Orleans,
you
what,
how
two,
many parlays the fucking Falcons ruined for me on Sunday.
the Saints had what? They were 2-7 coming into the game. Like, they lost like 7 games in a row. They were getting their ass smacked every single fucking week. But yeah, I mean
It
the
was probably
Falcons.
also like you have to get your name back because they just fire their head coach after losing 7 games in a row. So it's probably
They did.
So it's probably a bit of a bounce back game mentality for them. But still, you're right. Atlanta looked flat as heck.
And the
I
crazy
didn't
thing,
expect that from Atlanta at all. I
Yeah,
fully
I-
expected them to come out and roll the Saints.
I
I
thought
thought they were going to roll them too.
Michigan State, shout out to Sparty, 41-41. There's something about these Tom Izzo teams, man. They just play and they play. And also Hunter Dickinson, I swear. I just realized he's only 23. This dude seems like he's been in college for like 20 goddamn years, man. Like some of these dudes, when they're, do your shit, big dog, talk shit. But I mean, he keeps doing this little celebration where they put their arm up. Like that was a nice, motherfucker. You've been doing this shit for 4 years. Go play pros. All right, I'm sorry, man. I got money on the line. What you guys? What you guys say we get into the picks, man? I'm excited. I need
Sounds good.
picks, man. Need them picks.
Well, boys, Thursday night we start off with an NFC East banger.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Washington Commanders heading into Philadelphia to play the Sheagles, who just busted my Cowboys ass last Sunday. So fuck the Eagles.
This is a tough pick because the Eagles are looking good. They look like they're turning
Yeah.
things around offensively.
They really do. And
The
Saquon Barkley
Commanders
is
look good
such
against
a
the Steelers until the Steelers Russell Wilson decided to become Russell Wilson.
Since this one's coming off a short week, Philly's the home team. I'm gonna roll with Philly in this one.
Philly's a 3.5-point favorite at home. Give me Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. That's the feeling.
Nice. I mean, shit. I mean, Washington's. I mean, they've lost to what? They've lost to Baltimore this year. They've lost to Pittsburgh, and then they have what? 3. Let me go back. They have 3 losses, I think. Their other loss was to. Wasn't that? I don't think it was. We would have been known if it was. It was to the fuck.
The Bucks week 1.
Oh, right. The Bucks week 1 by 17. It's tough, man. The Eagles. I mean, the Eagles. At the end of the day, they're the ones with the experienced QB. I mean, look, they looked great. I mean, just playing in against Dallas ain't nothing special, but I mean, still, you go into Dallas, get a win, and embarrass them on the field like that. That's something else. I'm taking a while on this one. I've got the Commanders.
So we got Philly and the Commanders for you two. So for the next game, we have the Miami Dolphins, who are traveling back to their home state, playing in their home stadium nonetheless, against Ian's Las Vegas Raiders.
Give
me the Dolphins.
I'm going to take the Dolphins.
So the Raiders find a quarterback. I'm not going to believe in them. I got the Dolphins.
Fair enough. Sunday, 1 o'clock, November 17th, we have the Cleveland Browns heading into Nolans, who are coming off that win against Atlanta. I think they're going to keep it rolling here. Give me the Saints.
I'm going to take the Saints, too. They're 1.5-point favorites at home. I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Browns right now. Who is it?
Probably Jameis Winston, if I had to guess.
I'm pretty sure it's Winston.
Yeah, give me the Browns. This is the Browns, not the Saints. My bad.
For sure. I need that W. What did he say? Oh, I'm gonna eat that W. I'm gonna eat a W. I got the Browns, so which means the Saints are probably gonna win this goddamn game.
Yeah, probably, because you never get Browns games, right? We have the Indianapolis Colts, who probably are going to go back to Anthony Richardson at this point. Joe Flacco looks like he's 39 years old now after having a phenomenal start to the season. Kind of tailing off here. Looks like he's hitting his age. They're heading into the Meadowlands to play the New York Jets. And they are coming off just an embarrassing loss to the Cardinals. Give me the Jets. I don't know why. I have no reasoning behind it, but give me the Jets.
Flacco didn't have Michael Pittman Jr. this weekend. He was out.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely impacted his passing game. But even with Richardson, the Jets are a dumpster fire. Absolute dumpster fire. I'm going to take the Colts on the road in an upset. And
Is that even an upset at this point?
Well, the Jets are. It's true in terms of the betting line. Jets are a 4.5 point favorite at home. I'm going to take the Colts.
The Jets shouldn't be favored over fucking Old Town High School at this point.
No, they shouldn't, but apparently they are. I'm going to take the Colts though.
Honestly, I believed in the Colts this past Sunday. They played somewhat tough against Buffalo, ended up losing by 10. I don't know if you guys caught that. I think it was in the third quarter. It was just turnover.
Yeah, I did see that.
I wanted to take Buffalo. New York's pretty good against the run, number 2 in the league. They're in East Rutherford. We've all got the. Did one of you guys have the Colts? We all got the Jets, right?
I had the Colts.
Oh, okay, for sure.
So next game, we have probably the easiest game on the slate. I would say, actually, no, not the easiest game on the slate. We have the Minnesota Vikings heading into the Music City to play the Tennessee Titans. And, obviously the Vikings.
Vikings. That's going to be a steamroll.
Depending if Sam Darnold doesn't throw 3 picks in the red zone again like he did last week.
This is true.
I like the Vikings as a whole a lot. Sam Darnold's turning back into Sam Darnold.
A little bit, yeah.
Before I give my pick, Cameron Bynum. Did you guys see that the impression he did for Rhaega, the breakdancing girl from the Olympics, when he got that? I think he got a
yes. I was rolling when I saw that.
Oh my god, bro! He did that. She retired from breakdancing, and they were like, "How are you gonna retire from something you never did?" I'm gonna retire being an astronaut. I'm gonna retire from being an astronaut today. Give me my flowers. I got the Vikings, man. This shit's not gonna be close.
So we have an NFC North showdown between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field.
Packers are going to roll the hell through that Soldier Field and steamroll the Bears.
Give me the Packers. Yeah, absolutely.
By a lot. Jordan Love's going to throw 4 touchdowns. That's a 3-score game at a minimum.
So I'm guessing, Ian, you also have the Packers?
Yeah, I've got the Packers. The question I wanted to ask you guys, the largest win ever by the Packers in this rivalry was 49-0 in 1962. I think the Bears
they're not going to top that.
Not going to top that.
I think they win by 30. I think they're going to beat the piss. I think the Packers, I think this is going to be a coming out party for the Packers this weekend. I really do. I think the Packers win by 30, legit 30.
So,
quick question though. Will Caleb Williams cry his mother's arms at the end of the game? Because I think he probably will.
No, because it'll be such a blowout that he knows it's over midway through the first quarter.
That was a tough loss when he did that, man. Washington was
that was a really well that game. Granted, the optics for him in terms of like what the people thought his maturity level wasn't great, but still, the Washington USC game was unfreaking believable.
So for this next game, fellas, we have possibly the Mac Jones-led Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, I don't know if you saw him against who. I don't know if you guys saw him against Minnesota last week. Looked awful. Looked absolutely atrociously bad. And they are heading into Detroit to play the Lions.
Lions are minus 13 at the moment.
They're going to be up 13 less than 13 minutes into the game.
I think so.
Give me Detroit by 50.
Detroit's going to just destroy them. Now, question. Anyone concerned about Jared Goff throwing another 5-pick game? Because that was awful.
I'm not.
That was awful. That was awful. Not gonna lie. They were lucky to come off that.
Your team has to be to overcome 5 picks and still win the game.
Is there some sort of stat about that? Because there's got to be something.
All right, let me. Quarterbacks to throw 5 picks and win. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Tony Romo is one of them against the Bills on Monday night.
Like it's got to be limited company.
I mean, it can't be as bad as who was it? The Pirates that threw a no-hitter but still lost, or maybe it was the Reds that threw a no-hitter. But you know what I'm talking about. It was like a couple years ago. Okay, here it is. Per NFL.com, Goff became just the third quarterback in the last 30 years to win a game in which he threw at least 5 interceptions, joining Matt Ryan in 2012 against the Cardinals and Romo in '07 against the Bills.
Wow. Yeah, like I said, limited company. Those two other names, big names.
Eminem could play for the Lions, and they would win by 30. I've got the Lions.
So, for the next game, this is where two of our teams are playing. So, Justin, since the Pats are the home team, we're going to have Ian go before you in this one. We have the Los Angeles Rams heading into Gillette to take the Patriots. And I'm going to go with the Rams.
Well, Diddy might like my pick. You could ram it all day and ram it all night. Go Rams. I got the Rams. Big.
Big?
Big.
I got the Rams in a close one.
I think I've got the Patriots in a close one. I think they're building something.
I can see this game going either way, so I don't blame you on that one.
My reasoning for that is I don't think that we're
100,000% biased.
well, maybe a tiny bit, but I don't think that we are that much better than the Patriots. Like if you're gonna put the whole body of work together at the end of the season, just how good the two teams are, I think that
the Rams are a little better.
We're going to be consistently inconsistent. Like we're going to have games where we come out flat like we did against Miami or like Arizona, God fucking forbid, earlier in the year. And then we're going to have games where we just ball out. I think this is going to be one of those games where we go on the road. I think we just play really well this week.
I think this game's going to be very weather dependent, Ian, because obviously the Rams indoor dome team, it's going to be, late-ish November. Temperature's probably going to be dipping into the high 40s to low 40s.
Time weather's predicted to be 56 degrees.
Oh, so it's going to be a good clear day. Okay, yeah, Rams. Definitely Rams. Definitely Rams in this one then. I need to see Drake May put together two consistent games before I think that before I will pick them against a team that I feel is at least solid.
I'm not going to come out because I think the Patriots are good. I mean, not good. I think they're
paper. On paper, they're over.
On paper, the Rams should blow them out.
On paper, yes, but the Patriots are overperforming based on their roster.
Yes, absolutely they are.
That's fair.
So we have an AFC North heavyweight bout between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is a great matchup.
I'm rolling with the Ravens. I think the Steelers are frauds.
Really?
That defense is not a fraud. Their defense is not.
No, their defense is really, really good. But I also think that it's going to get sort of exposed against Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson.
Holy shit, we're still on the fucking 1 p.m. slate. When are we going to start flexing stuff to Monday night?
Is that doesn't start until
it's already happened.
Week 13 or 14, I think. Has it already happened?
Flexing's already happened.
The Jets got flexed out, didn't they? Or somebody got flexed out.
Yeah, Jets and Colts was supposed to be the Sunday night game. They flexed it to Bengals Chargers.
Dude, this could be.
It's not much better.
I mean, shit. Chargers 6 and well, speaking of the Bengals, for the Thursday night game, this is the second week in a row where we've had a banger on Thursday night. But going back to the game that we're on right now,
I'm going with the wife principle. I'm going to take the Steelers.
God, Baltimore's so good. I got Pittsburgh. That defense.
Russ is playing with heart, which he hasn't been for a couple of years. Now he's got it.
I'm still going with the Ravens. I just think they're the better team.
Nothing wrong with the pick. Nothing wrong with the pick.
I think it's going to be a pretty close game for about 3.5 quarters, and I think the Ravens pull away.
But it's going to be rock'em sock'em Roblox for those 3.5 quarters.
Oh, dude, it's the AFC North heavyweight, but this is going to be a heavy-hitting game.
Absolutely.
It always is with these teams. I would say this is a potential AFC championship showdown. And then I scroll down a little bit further to a different game on this schedule that is 100% the AFC championship showdown.
It's definitely these two matchups on this weekend slate should be the divisional round matchup.
Yes, and I think it's going to be just this too. I think it's going to play out exactly like this. So who do you got, Ian? Ravens or Steelers?
I got Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. So for the first game of the 4 o'clock window, we have the Seattle Seahawks heading into San Francisco to play the Niners. I think the Niners keep their momentum rolling here, and I'm going to pick them to get the dub.
CMC's back. Give me the Niners.
Yeah, they definitely looked a little on and off this weekend. I think Seattle's good, but I think the Niners are going to start finding their stride, and they're going to have to do it to keep pace with Arizona, who is off this weekend. So we've all got the Niners, correct?
Correct. So for this next game, this is a
Seattle's coming off a bye week, but one thing I'm good at that.
Yes, they are. That's actually a very good point.
Oh, good point.
So the next game, this is kind of a preference game because it's for one, it's Atlanta and Denver. So obviously Denver's coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, and Atlanta is coming off their worst loss of the year to the Saints. On paper, Atlanta's a much better team, but of course, this is in Denver. We know how the Mile High can affect people. Atlanta, dome team, playing outdoors. I'm picking Denver.
It's supposed to be 54 degrees in Denver. Game time. I'm gonna take Atlanta to bounce back. I think Drake London and Darnell Mooney have good games. But once again, I'm pretty sure Kyle Pitts will fade on me for my fantasy team.
It's a tough one for me, just because Atlanta's defense against the pass is right around the same as Kansas City, and we saw how good Bo Nix looked, and it's in Denver. And there was a heartbreaker that they lost, but there were times in that game where they were moving the ball, and it looks like they couldn't be stopped. I got Denver. I think Atlanta's good. Shit, they're still the best team in the NFC. The NFC. Well, let me look at the standings real quick.
No, they're definitely the best team in the NFC South.
Well, what Tampa? Because Tampa's lost like 3 games in a row.
Tampa's 4 and 6.
Ahead. Yeah, I got Denver. I don't think. Not gonna say they don't have incentive to win because of course they do, but this is a desperation spot for Denver. For sure. They're not.
Yeah, because they're fighting for the wild. They're not fighting for the division, but they're fighting for the wild card. Now, this game has a lot riding on it. This next game. And Ian, this goes back to 3 or 4 weeks ago when we said if they get past this week and they win, we both think they're going undefeated. It is the Kansas City Chiefs heading into Buffalo to play the Bills. Now, Buffalo seems to always beat Kansas City in the regular season, and then Kansas City always beats them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that trend getting bucked.
On with the Bills.
Yep, I've got the Bills.
So you don't see okay, so you got the Bills right now. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got to think if they meet in the playoffs, they'll probably still be an Arrowhead.
Probably still be.
Yeah, right.
Because
the Chiefs ain't losing another game.
Not after this week, no. But
I will say Isaiah Pacheco is expected to be back for Kansas City. With the way Kansas City's defense has been playing, I think Amari Cooper's still questionable in this game for the Bills. I'm going to roll with the Chiefs. They've been sneaking by a lot of games. This is
how many weeks are they going to go by with just sneaking by? Eventually, one of those sneaking by games is going to come back and bite them in the ass.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it could absolutely be this week, too, because this is obviously the biggest challenge either one of these teams have played all year. Like, Kansas City's not going to play a team better than Buffalo throughout the season, and Buffalo damn sure is not going to play a team that's better than Kansas City.
Could Buffalo clinch the division this weekend?
No, but actually, probably.
Let me see. They're 8-2. The next closest team is 3-6 with Miami. That would be 9-2.
No, they couldn't. But
not far from it though. There may be one or 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're not far from it. But something about this Kansas City team people are hating on because for one, they keep sneaking by, but I like that about them. They're
finding ways to win at the end of the day.
They keep finding ways to win football games. and that's so important. I got to do it. I'm rolling with Kansas City.
Yeah, and it's in Orchard Park.
You
It's
circling
gonna be.
them wagons.
I've got the Chiefs too. I think it's one of those things where you say Pacheco might be back. And I think they're gonna turn up this weekend. I think that they're gonna come. I'm not gonna say blowout because I have way too much respect for Buffalo to say blowout, but I think Kansas City is gonna. We're gonna leave this game knowing, okay, they're as if most people don't already think it, but they're the best team. Well, most people really don't already think it, but I think we're
To
gonna
be
leave the
honest,
game saying they're the best team in the
Buffalo
AFC.
Buffalo could win this game, and I'd still think Kansas City's the better team. Like the better team doesn't win every game. That's just everybody knows that.
One thing I do want to mention, 'cause I don't think, I mean, this was back when I was in Vegas. It was me and you. I think I want to say it was before the season started. Maybe it was during the summer we were talking about football. But me and you were talking about legacies, and we were talking about Patrick Mahomes. And you're like, because if he wins, he's gonna have what,
Or
4 rings. But we were like, okay, so what if he goes undefeated and gets a three-peat? Like this is something that we have talked
if
about.
that happens, even the most die-hard Brady / Patriot fans will have to entertain the conversation that the GOAT torch was passed. Torch was passed. If the Chiefs go undefeated and Patrick wins his 4th and the Chiefs three-peat, there's not a single case you could make that the conversation shouldn't at least be had.
I think the conversation has to be had, but you can't decide it now.
No, it wouldn't be
No.
decided. Absolutely not. But I think the conversation at least absolutely has to hold real merit and hold real ground at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I think it's gonna bring a lot more defensiveness too from people. I mean, because we take, and we'll get on the Sunday night game in a second, but we take the stuff like with Jordan and LeBron. If you were to sit here and say Paul Pierce is on the same level as Jordan, Paul Pierce is better than Jordan, people just laugh at you. People get so defensive over LeBron, I think, because they know that that's the only real argument that holds weight. And I think, like you said, if Kansas City goes undefeated and they win the Super Bowl, then you can have you know who's about to play next? Cooper Flag.
Yes,
He's
he
playing in a
is.
little while after this, but I think the Chiefs win this weekend. I mean, yeah, I think I'm with you that this is going to be, if they get past this game, they're probably going to go undefeated, but it's the NFL and we just don't know. But this is the Bills are the only team that can beat the Chiefs when the Chiefs play really well. The Chiefs have to play bad against somebody else to lose, in my
Agreed.
opinion.
Agreed.
Baltimore could
100%
probably
agree.
hang with them, but again, but Baltimore seems to always shit the bed in the playoffs.
That's my fear with Baltimore. Like they look so they're almost the AFC version of Dallas.
I was just to say to the AFC Cowboys.
I mean, but Baltimore makes the conference championship game. Was this past year the first time?
This past year was the first one they made in a long time.
Right, because I know back when Lamar won MVP, they lost to Tennessee, I think. Tennessee had just beaten the Patriots, yeah.
Yeah. So for the Sunday night game, we have the aforementioned Cincinnati Bengals heading into LA to play the Chargers. This is the time of the year where the Bengals get rolling. Mm-hmm. They always start off a little slow, then they win 6 in a row to close out the season for some reason. I'm going with the Bengals. I think this is the time of the year. I think the Bengals are going to get rolling, and they're going to be hot getting into the playoffs. I'm rolling with the Bengals. They're a team that if I were the Chiefs, I'd be worried about a hot Bengals team. Joe Burrow is the only quarterback left inside the NFL that's beaten Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game.
That's fucking wild.
The Chargers have scored 26 to 27 points the last 3 matchups, and granted against the Saints, Browns, and Titans, but they've also held them to less than 17 points.
I think the Chargers are a good team. I really do. I just think the Bengals get this one.
I think the Bengals defense is what's going to be their undoing. Give me the Chargers.
We talked last week about the Bengals being in a desperate spot. I think we might have mentioned the word desperate against Baltimore. This is a desperate spot. If they lose this game, they're gonna be 4-7. The game is in it's in LA. But I mean, we all know all these Bengals fans are going to come out of nowhere. I'm not even sure how much of a home game it's going to be. I mean, it's not like the Bengals travel really well. Sorry, it's a fucking tough one. Chargers favored by 1.5 at home. I got the Bengals.
We got the Bengals, and Justin has the Chargers. And for the Monday night game, we have the Houston Texans heading into their in-state rivals to play Cooper Not Flag Rush and the Dallas Are Terrible Cowboys. And I don't even think we need to make picks on this one, boys. We're all rolling with the Cowboys, right? No, I'm just kidding. We're all picking the Texans because we're not stupid.
Correct.
I've got Dallas.
No, you do not.
I've got Dallas. Houston's already up by 2 games on the Colts. I don't think they take the Colts seriously. They know they're going to win the division. They're not going to get
Nah.
They're going to be
because if Houston loses, this is
winner.
when they're on a 3-game losing streak. You can't have that going into December.
That's fair, but are they really scared of the Colts? They're not going to be a top 3 seed. Like, they're going to be probably the worst division winner. We already knew this. I'm not saying that, they did look great this past week. Detroit, I'm not going to lie, they kind of pulled that one out by their chinny chin. What the fuck? I can't talk.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
Houston got shut out in the second half. They didn't look that good.
Texans look like crap. Second half.
They look good for the first half.
Did they need like 50 total yards in the second half or something like that?
This is the perfect game for them to get their get back. It's in Dallas. Dallas hasn't scored an offensive touchdown at home since September.
2 words: Micah Parsons.
So I definitely have the Texans in this one, no question, by a mile too. Texans in a fucking blowout.
Texans by 20.
Yeah, easily.
Cowboys by 10.
You're crazy.
So
that's the pick segment.
At home all year, bro. You guys are 0-4 at home.
Dude, we haven't won at home since 2023.
Fuck.
God,
Michigan State, baby.
So, boys, what do you say we move on to another team that lost to the Eagles this past weekend? And that would be our University of Maine Black Bears, Justin. Of course, on Friday, looked great for 2.5 periods, had a 2-0 lead. And I don't want to call it a collapse or if BC we awoke the monster within BC. Because from that point on and then the entirety of the game on Sunday, we didn't belong on the ice with them.
We were in a track meet for that 2.5 period stretch in the first game. And we hung with them. But
yeah, we did.
Shout out to Ryan Leonard of BC, sophomore pick. I think he was drafted by. I want to say.
No, it was a Blue Jackets. It was a blue and it was a team that's
wasn't
red
the Sharks?
Blue in it.
Wasn't the Sharks?
Nah, it wasn't the Sharks. Yeah, I think you might.
Or was it the Capitals?
Oh, it might be. Let me see, Ryan. I think you're. I think it might be the Capitals because it was a team that was blue and white. It was the Washington Capitals. You're right. I knew I was tripping. I was going to say the Rangers. Casey said that. Oh, go ahead. You're good.
But for the first 2 periods and then up to that 10-minute mark of this third period, Maine had them. I mean, they had them. They were hitting. They were moving. They were passing well. But BC just
there's too much. There's 12 NHL draft picks on that team to
exactly.
I think 1 or 2 for
Maine.
And
one. It's Taylor McCarr. He was a transfer from UMass.
And so there's such a wide talent discrepancy between those 2 teams that it's almost, I don't want to say unfair, but it's
you almost want to say it.
Yeah, it's a tall task for Maine to be able to think that they can go into that building and win. Now, we've seen it in the Alphon. There's something about the Alphon that just brings out Maine's best, is the best way to put it, because they beat BC twice last year in the Alphon.
No, we didn't beat them twice. We beat them once.
Oh, we beat them in the shootout.
No, they lost
in the shootout on Saturday. Yeah, I remember that.
Did they really?
Yeah, we lost the shootout. So we got 4 points on that weekend. But
I
Yeah.
could have sworn they won that shootout.
Nope.
What am I misremembering? Doesn't matter. Anyways, what Maine really should hold their heads at high for this is just how far they have come as a program over the last 5 years. It's going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to get better. Alvin
They're
Boya
still
has shown
the
that
best team.
he
They're
is.
still the second best team in Hockey East.
Yeah,
Honestly.
absolutely. Yes. No, they are. Absolutely. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Boya. You know, he's going to continue to grow. He'll be there all 4 years. I really believe that.
Yeah.
And so I think he's going to continue to get better, and we're only going to continue to get better recruits. And this program is going to do nothing but excel under Ben Barr. We're just not quite there yet. Now, I will say, in a one-game scenario, I like our chances against damn near everybody that's not Denver.
Yeah, I take the. I mean, given the option between Denver or the field, I'll take the field. Like in terms of who Maine's facing in the tournament, I'll take the field.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take Minnesota. I'll take Michigan State. I'll take BC again in a grudge match. Yeah,
But
especially on a neutralized facility. I'll take me.
You know, like it's outside of Denver. Denver is just steamrolling teams right now.
It's Denver or again the question we ever going back years. Would you take Tiger Woods or the field in any golf tournament? Would you take Denver or the field in the NCAA tournament? And right now,
I would take Denver at this point.
At this point, you have to take Denver. You have to.
They are so far and away better than every other team. It's not a close competition. And, you know, Justin, they're coming to the Alphond in January.
Boy, it better be on his gate, man. I'm just saying.
I just want one.
You just want one. You want
one.
Even if it's like an overtime win or a split, like a regulation win, you don't care.
One. Do not care.
Dude, but going. Oh, my bad, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I think Maine sweeps BU this weekend.
Yeah, I think you're right. BU's not playing up to their potential, and they've definitely taken a step back since last summer, bringing to the NHL.
BU can't play in the Alphond either. Every time they come, they get smacked.
Yeah, Maine should sweep. I think we get one game. I think we do sweep, but I think one of the games goes to overtime, like a 2-1 overtime win.
I could see that. Now, before we get on to the question, this is kind of directed towards Justin, but Ian, you can chime in if you want to. Should the Celtics be worried about the Cavs?
Long term, no.
I mean, you gotta think the Cavs are 12-0 right now.
The Cavs also, yes, that's true, but the Celtics are also still playing without Porzingis.
That's true. They are playing without Porzingis.
And they're still hitting and chucking as many threes as you can count. I'm not worried. Not long term. Short term, maybe, but not long term.
I mean, we saw how big of a difference Porzingis made. When he returned in the playoffs last year. I mean, they're 12-0. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at in the NBA. But I think when it comes down to it, right. I still don't think they're beating the Celtics in a 7-game series. I mean, they're a good team. What
if it's home court? What if it's home advantage Cavs?
I don't think. I mean, I think if the Cavs have home court, I think they can maybe push it to 6, possibly 7. They're the best 3-point shooting team in the league right now. But I don't foresee, unless Boston has an injury which, by the way, Celtics are up 13 at the moment against the Hawks. But unless they have a
major injury issue,
like
they lose Holiday or they lose Brown.
Yeah, I don't think Cavaliers might be the future. I mean, shit, Donovan Mitchell, I saw something the other day. It's like he's pretty much doing the same shit as Anthony Edwards. Just Anthony Edwards is a lot
He's
more
doing
loud and
Donovan Mitchell
boisterous.
things. True. But yeah, I'd still take the Celtics in the long run.
I agree to an extent with what you said about not being worried in the long run, but in the short game, I think if the Cavs do get home court throughout the course of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, I think that could pose some problems. Game 7 at the Quicken Loans Arena could pose major issues. It would be the first,
because they'll have to go against Milwaukee first.
Milwaukee's terrible.
But Milwaukee will get in the play. Well, it's Giannis and Dame. They're going to right the ship. Let's just be honest.
I don't think they will. They got to fire Doc Rivers first.
Yeah. It's hard to pick them to fall from
How
grace.
is Doc Rivers riding a championship that's almost 20 years old at this point? How is he still riding that championship? That's one thing I do not understand.
No, but I think that Milwaukee will still make it in the playoffs. But yeah, but Cleveland's gonna have to either go past India or Milwaukee before they have to play Boston. And that's a tough out, no matter which one. Again, at full strength, that's a tough out for them to get past.
I don't know if it is a tough out at this point.
For Indy or Milwaukee at full strength?
I just don't foresee it with Milwaukee at this point. Okay. I don't think they can recover. Like, I know there's such a long season ahead and they're only sitting at 2-8.
But that's a hard hole to dig yourself out of.
That's a very hard hole to dig yourself out of. You got to think from this point going forward, they have to win at least 65% of their games.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough going, sure, but I'm not as down in the dumps about them as you are. What are you thinking, Ian? Did you leave the building?
Mr. Blackwell, where are you?
Sorry. But what I was gonna say was when they first I was really optimistic about the experiment with Giannis and Dame, but I mean I think it's just coaching, man. There's no reason a team. I mean they still got Connaughton, they still got all these guys out there, and they're 2-8.
Is Middleton still hurt? Sorry to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know.
He got hurt again.
But yeah, this weekend, bro, like they had that game. I mean, they were up in the fourth quarter, lost. Like they're not a good team. I think sometimes, and I am one of the biggest victims of it. We'll see a team with so much talent and be like, they're gonna turn it around. I don't get it, and it just doesn't. I mean, they fired Adrian Griffin, and he had them at number 2 in the East when they were
30-13 when he was fired.
Just, like honestly, that kind of because they were saying that his vibe and the players weren't really comfortable being. Who fucking cares? You're 30-13, like, and then now you get Doc Rivers, who he's blown 3. I mean, I knew he blew a 3-1 lead with us. He blew I don't know if he blew a 3-1 lead with the Sixers, but they choked.
He sure did.
The fucking Hawks. They did blow a 3-1 lead that series. But I don't know, man. Once they get a new coach, then I will fully be all in on Milwaukee, but Doc Rivers is not a good coach. He's still
even with a new coach, I'm not putting him full in over Boston or Cleveland.
I mean, I think they could give. I think they can give both of them a shot with a healthy Middleton, with all these guys out there. I don't think they're going to be capable of necessarily winning the East, but I would definitely take a Milwaukee team seriously if they could actually get it together, but they can't. So once they
but would you put them over Boston?
Nah.
No. A quick question, hypothetical speaking. If you're down 2, that's an NBA question. You're down 2, you have to go the length of the court. You can't advance the ball. Who do you want taking your shot?
Peyton
And
Pritchard.
there's less. Peyton Pritchard. You see what you want, Steph or Peyton Pritchard, with 3
I know
seconds
it
to go.
sounds crazy, but Peyton Pritchard, like there's something about him in those moments that the fearlessness, the ability to move as quickly as he does to get his shot up. Like, I know the obvious answer and probably the correct answer is still Steph Curry, but fuck it, give me Peyton Pritchard.
Clutch buzzer. If you need a clutch buzzer beater, I'll take Pritchard.
Ian's looking at us like we're psychos, but
no, I mean, well, shit, he hit what, like 2 half-court shots in the finals, and then he hit like 1 from damn near half-court. Like, that dude was just every time I fucking quarter was in, and his ass is turning around hitting a
hitting the bank shot.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I mean, obviously, like you said, the correct answer is probably Steph Curry. I mean, honestly, in all seriousness, my second answer would be Lillard.
Okay, that's not a bad pick either. But I mean, recent history bias, I'm taking Peyton Pritchard.
I like Peyton Pritchard, Westland, Oregon. He's an Oregon guy. I'm not from Oregon, but he's pretty big in that area, so I got to rock with it. But I mean,
I'm just saying it feels good to watch a professional sports team that I'm not embarrassed by right now.
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
And it's funny because earlier this year I was embarrassed to watch the Patriots. I'm not feeling that bad anymore because I see what's coming around.
Yeah, of course. Now you guys are 3-6.
3-7.
3-7. What are you expecting? 5 wins?
At best 6.
At best 6. That's fair.
Hey, man, the only team of mine that I'm just flat out embarrassed by is USC. The Angels, we're trying our best. We're not nearly there. The Ducks, man, I mean, we won this past weekend. We won 4-2. But it's going to be a tough one. We did start Gibson this past weekend. But it's going to be a tough road, man. It really is. The West has so many good teams.
Are tied for the worst in the league.
The Ducks are?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
Even with the Bruins aren't there.
They're tied for the worst with Columbus, Montreal, and Nashville.
Yeah, but I mean, we got 12 points. I mean, we're 3 behind Edmonton. We're not. I mean, we're 5-7. That's all I care about. Like, we're not absolutely atrocious. Whereas, you said Nashville.
Nashville and Montreal, they're both 5-9.
Oh, well, games played, Columbus. Well, I mean, we have the same amount of points as Nashville and Columbus, and they've played 2 more games. Montreal is terrible. They played 16 games. They got 12 points. I don't know, man. I'm optimistic for the Ducks. And the crazy thing is, like, being in Arkansas now, I don't get any other local games. I'm sick of watching Stream E, so I've been watching a shitload of Ducks hockey. Also, those Minnesota Wild North Stars jerseys are fucking beautiful, and we play the Golden Knights tomorrow, actually. So
that's Winnipeg is 14-1.
They're killing people, bro.
The Bruins are 7-7. They are awful now too.
I'm not used to that.
Jeremy Swayman doesn't look like himself.
No, he doesn't. Jim Montgomery, former UMaine Black Bear, looks like it might be time for him to go.
I don't think it's a little early to say that, but I think the conversation needs to start building up.
I think the conversation needed to start building when they were the number 1 seed in the conference and then lost a 1-8 matchup to fucking Florida.
Well, look at Florida now.
Well, I know look at Florida now. But I'm talking about.
But that was the year before the. But again, Florida. Yeah, you had Florida, who was up and coming, who, if I recall correctly, made the Stanley Cup Finals, and they lost.
But the Bruins set like NHL records, and I think they had the President's Cup that year.
They did. I mean, the President's Cup is cursed.
No, 100%. But you still can't be losing to the 8th seed.
You can't. No, I'll definitely.
Oh, they were like the worst team to ever make the playoffs, right? The Panthers were that year. Oh, well, that was the year. You're right. They lost to the Golden Knights in the finals, but I mean, they were atrocious when they got into the play. Yeah, I mean, when's the last time a team that's won the President's Cup has won the trophy? It's been a long
hot minute. It's been a hot minute.
The Rangers won it this past year, no?
I'm checking them.
And Michigan State loses because, of course, they fucking do.
Sean's fault.
Yeah, the last time that since the trophy was inaugurated in 1986, the President's Cup trophy winner has won the Stanley Cup only 8 times.
Which is
out
a
of
big
36
indicator
winners.
that the best team in the regular season isn't necessarily the best team.
This is true.
Now,
Hockey is just
Ian,
one of those games, though, bro. Like I've seen so many hockey teams just dominate and lose. Like it's just one of those sports. But you're
hockey's a
right.
momentum sport.
Yeah, that too, for sure.
The last team to do it was the 2012-2013 Chicago Blackhawks.
Who, if I'm not mistaken, beat the
the
Bruins in the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Well, that goal I think by Patrick Kane, no.
In Game 6.
Yep.
Shit was in Boston too, I think.
It was. I was watching that game.
No, it was Blackhawks and Penguins.
Oh, Penguin, because the Bruins I think won the year before or the year after, one of the two. No,
the Bruins
Kings
won the
year
Stanley
after.
Cup in 2011 against the Canucks.
I think it was 2015 when the Bruins lost to the Blackhawks.
Was it? I don't think it was 2015, was it?
I think so.
Maybe it was 2013.
I'm checking. Hang on.
Because they lost in 2019 to the Blues in the Stanley Cup.
I'm checking. Hang on. Okay, so that was 2013. No, it was 2013.
2013. Okay, I thought so. Because I was going to say, I remember watching that game on Xbox Live Party Chat with Sean in my brand new apartment.
Yeah, the Blackhawks have not won since 2015. So the Blackhawks did win in 2015, but that was against Tampa Bay.
Now, Mr. Blackwell, I hear just a little rumbling that you have a question for me and Coach Duncan.
Well, it is the question, just so everybody knows, because I mean, pushing an hour 15 minutes at this point. I thought it was a good question. I guess preface this. What would be if you were trying to make money? If you wanted to, see a high success rate and not get caught, what is the easiest position in sports where you could point shave and have the most control and the least like? What would be your ideal position in sports where you can point shave?
And not get caught doing it?
Right, you know what I mean? So where it's, you're gonna
So
have
you can be Paul Crew without getting caught and get thrown to jail for it.
exactly. Like where do you think?
I think quarterback would be too easy to get caught.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. And you know what? I'll go ahead and give because I've been thinking about my answer all day, and then I'll let you guys kind of think about it for a second. Because I was thinking quarterback, and it just seems too easy to get caught if you're just throwing absolute ducks. It.
Point guard.
I was thinking about pitcher.
No,
because right.
because you can see your tip of your pitches. No.
Right, you can either see your tip and your pitches, and the speed is such an element in pitching that you can't slow down your pitch. Mine would be. I was thinking about goalie, but I would say point guard in basketball because you could sag off just enough. Because I was watching actually the Bad Sport documentary about Stephen Smith from Arizona State. You start the offense late in the shot clock, give the ball to your teammate, and he's not gonna have much time. You put your teammates in a rough position.
But if you do that enough, I feel like that's gonna be a thing, like where it's gonna get noticed quickly. Because let's be real, there's no position you could do it consistently without getting caught.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I have a really good answer for this one. Shortstop.
Why?
I could see that because as a shortstop, you're not. I mean, effectively, you could either eat up a infield grounder or miss throw, and no one's gonna really know. Did you
One of
purposely
the
miss a
most
throw?
common plays in baseball is a ground ball to shortstop, throw out at first. That's one of the most common plays in baseball. I feel like a couple of times a game, just a hair off, that runner is going to be safe. And baseball is already a sport where all you have to do, if you have a success rate of, I'll say 28% of getting hits, then all you're going to do from that point is dip that down to about 24. And I think that could go unnoticed for a long time. And dipping doesn't seem like much from 28 to 24, but that could accumulate to 2 or 3 runs a week. And with that being said, that is going to cost 4 or 5 games out the course of a month or two. Add that up over 162 game a season. I think you could easily cost your team 30 games.
You're playing a lot of money ball with that, though.
You are. You definitely are.
That's tough though because
I think a baseball infielder or even outfielder is probably the least likely to get caught doing such a thing.
That was my thoughts going into it, was the less likely to get caught. Because Ian, if you're a point guard in the NBA and you're initiating your offense in a 24-second shot clock and you're not initiating your offense till 10 seconds left, 8 or 9 times a game, that's also a thing where because you're not throwing out the possibility is, are we going to get benched for our play?
Right, and shortstop, you're not going to get benched during the game. You know what I mean? Like they might pinch hit for you late, but you're not going to get benched. But I mean, how many fly balls and ground balls do you think you can mess up before they put your ass on the bench? You know what I'm saying?
No, that's fair. That's fair. But here's my theory on that. You only have to do it once or twice a game to get that extra runner on. Because if you do it once a game, once every other game, something of that nature,
or you can
really not going to draw too much attention.
Right. You just look like the goat for a few days.
Exactly. But if you're an NBA point guard, if you're really trying to point shave, you can't just initiate offense at 10 seconds once or twice a game, because there's so many possessions in an NBA game that those 1 or 2 possessions, more often than not, aren't going to truly matter.
But think about it from the defensive aspect too, because shit. I mean, because the it was really interesting. I mean, if I'm guarding you and I'm 3 steps back from you versus 2, that's a massive difference, especially when you're giving a guy that much room to shoot. I feel like it goes more just into the offensive end. I think that you're the point guards. I mean, even your body language, things like that, because you are the one. Your answer as shortstop is really interesting. I wasn't expecting it. I just feel like if you're just constantly just missing throw, like you said, you don't have to do it often, just once or 2 times. But I mean, you think about it, and you guys both watch enough baseball to know baseball players don't really make errors like that. They don't drop balls for the most part. Like it's very, very rare that you see a dude drop fuck up a routine ground ball, or especially drop a fly ball. But I guess if there was a baseball player, shortstop would be a good one, because like you said, one of the most
shortstop, second base, or third base. And so it's definitely not a first baseman.
Oh yeah, because I mean,
not too much stuff coming your way as a first baseman.
Exactly.
It's a tough one though, because shortstop is one of those things. That is a pretty good answer too, because even if you don't drop the ball, you can put a little bit less on your throw when you throw it to first, or just put a little bit to the side. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So I see what you get. I see what you mean from that perspective for sure.
What about you, Justin?
I mean, initially I thought point guard, and but shortstop makes a lot of sense too.
What about a defenseman in hockey? You don't quite get back fast enough on a breakaway.
I got a better one for you. Golf.
Oh my God. Yeah. Great answer.
Golf. You shake a shot because you know you can shake a shot on purpose, and it's like, oh no, he just had a
He just
horrible
pulled it.
shot on. Exactly.
That's a great answer.
And I feel like a
You're
putt
not-
wouldn't be noticeable to miss either. Like you could easily, kind of,
I mean, you're not
I-
going to miss a gimme
or,
putt, but you
a
can shake
fighter,
an approach
too.
shot. Yeah.
What do you think about a fighter? Pretty easily.
But I mean, who wants to go get? Like, I don't know. That just seems like I guess for the bread. But no, golf is a really good one. No, I think that's a really good because nobody, oh, he just didn't have his. He just shanked it. He just.
Before we hop off, boys, Friday night, we have a fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Who wins?
Tyson. I think Jake gets knocked out.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I know our pick segment is fun, but they already know who's gonna win. That's just my feeling.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I think
agree.
Tyson.
It's
I
scripted,
think
but yeah.
I got Tyson. I think that they the world it's gonna be very satisfying. Jake Paul's a businessman. He knows there's money to be made by him getting knocked the fuck out. So I got Mike Tyson just flooring his ass.
I hope so. Well, with that being said, mixed reactions. We've been sitting here for about an hour and a half chumming it up with you folks. Think it's time we sign off for another wonderful Tuesday. In case anyone cares, it is the season finale of tonight of Inside, what is that? American Sports Stories, Aaron Hernandez. Show is absolutely terrible. The acting is terrible, but I watch every Tuesday.
And I won't watch a second of it.
All right,
It's
everybody.
addicting, dude. It's a terrible show, but it's addicting.
The dude that plays Gronk, I mean, he has his voice, not really, but just his, I guess, demeanor. He had that shit down pat.
Bro, the guy who played Gronk is friends with him.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, it was it's his buddy. But so
So,
I was
Anyone
real
who
quick, the guy
legitimately
who
ever
plays-
play Gronk, but like
The guy who
legitimately
plays
play
Aaron
Gronk.
Hernandez, the guy who
Mhm.
plays Aaron looks nothing like him. Like he
No,
does
he
in the
doesn't.
face a little bit,
No,
but
but
he's
no,
way too small.
way too small.
he looks
It
way
honestly-
nice.
If someone were to do a biopic of Gronk, the best person to play him, honestly, if you have to go back in time, but 22 Jump Street, Channing Tatum, but
That
perfect.
would work perfect. That would work perfect.
Total meathead, just yeah.
That's actually that can't really think of one better for sure. Channing Tatum. That's I was gonna say John Cena, but John Cena's too clean
No.
for me. Channing Tatum.
No, you got to play you have to have somebody who can play a goofball like
Yeah,
that
John's.
Gronk
You're
is.
right. Ian. John's too clean cut for that.
Yeah, no, Channing Tatum. That's a great answer. But I started the show. We're gonna go ahead and end it with Tally, and we'll let you guys get out of here. Go ahead, Tally.
Let's go to Canada and Jerry World. Don't forget to bring a towel. It might be right.
All I know is the Celtics are the best team in the NBA, and they're going to win the title.
I'm not a Raiders fan. Good
Yes,
night.
you are.